Thursday. It is Thursday, right? Yeah. It's definitely Thursday because it's my favorite day of the week. I don't know what to call this. Lunch and news. We're gonna call it. No, I'm gonna change this up. We're gonna go dinner and news with DotSale. Let's get into it. Hold on real quick. All right, grab some. I need this. We're gonna go dinner and news with DotSale. A little bit different tonight. I had to do a lot of stuff. I'm gonna tell y'all about it. I'm gonna tell y'all about everything I had to do to get the show prepared today. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Anybody that was here yesterday, like, y'all know what happened? Like, the stream was shutting down. They said the whole YouTube was out yesterday at different points. So I don't know if it was just us, but I definitely made some changes. So I'm hoping that our show goes smooth today because I don't like when we have issues, especially like software issues with the stream going out and everything. Because when I get into the show, like, I don't want to be interrupted, especially by nonsense. But we got a late show today. We do got a late show today, so I'm actually gonna update this. Let's do it like this real quick. Just change a little something on the graphic. Let's just go here. Yeah, we'll go there. Let's change it there. Let's change it there. And I'm thinking I want to do a little bit something with even the logos on either side and make it more Halloween themed. As we go into next week, we're gonna go into Halloween themes. So to start to begin our Halloween themed shows as we lead into Halloween Day, I want to go today and have a Halloween dinner. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go over to the Rose table and she is going to prepare our dinner for today before we get into this whole AI versus human situation. We're gonna go and have her set us up with jack-o'-lantern quesadillas. A lot of fun ways you can say that. Let's check it out and see what we got. It's a good way to start.
For dinner, we're going to make my jack-o'-lantern quesadillas. Now, honestly, what you put in them isn't even the point. If you're a picky eater, just do a cheese quesadilla. It's totally fine. I like my...
Her channel name is Rose, the Rose Table. As of this recording, she has 4.73K subscribers. Basically 4,700 subscribers. So, if you want to subscribe to her, I think that would be awesome. She would probably very much appreciate it. Let's check it out.
Like mine with chicken, black olive, avocado, got some green chilies here, some Colby Jack cheese, cilantro, but the real fun is in carving the jack-o'-lantern. Just want a sharp paring knife. I like to do triangles for the eyes. Let's see if I did okay. There we go. And then to get the perfect one, the perfect match, just lay your first eye on top of your second eye. Ta-da! Okay, and now you can do any face you want, of course, but I'm gonna do, I think, a vampire. I am not the best artist in the world, that's for sure. All right.
You're doing great.
Let's see how we did.
And we appreciate you for hooking us up. I like the avocados.
Jack-o'-lantern however you want. Now, I don't like to flip the quesadillas because they have their cute little faces and I don't want them to get damaged. So we're actually gonna cook ours in the oven. I'm preheating to 350. Y'all know I'm Texan and I know a good quesadilla Okay, I like some just green chili pieces. I'm gonna wash my hands 27 times while filming this. Okay.
She letting us know she got clean hands. I like that. I like that.
And then all that's left is our sweet little face. Look at that, jack-o'-lantern quesadilla. Ta-da! And there you go. Now, I forgot to tell you guys that these are jalapeno and cheddar tortillas. So you can get like a sun-dried tomato or some sort of orange tortilla. I think that makes it super fun. But almost every year I make these with normal tortillas. I just happen to see orange tortillas for this for today. Now all we have to do, bake this for 10 minutes, and we're ready to go.
For our Halloween drink, we're going to make an All Hallows.
All right, so we're gonna leave it there, and,
okay, and then all that's left
you've seen it right there.
Is our sweet.
That looks really good, actually. And you know, she said she washed her hands a lot. You can always tell somebody's cleanliness based off of their fingernails. Like if you look at somebody's fingernails, it's gonna tell you everything you need to know about their cleanliness. If you see a lot of dirt, other than construction workers, we give them a pass. If you're a construction worker, you get a pass on your fingernails. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not clean. But if you're just like a regular person that doesn't do construction and you don't have clean fingernails, then I'm going to question your hygiene a little bit. But I thought she did really good, and that's the outcome right there. So we are having jack-o'-lantern quesadillas because we are going with a Halloween theme. We want to try to have as many so if y'all got any ideas, definitely let me know. Definitely let me know. We're going to transition into a Halloween themed show as we continue to go into the Halloween day coming up in how many days to Halloween? Let me see. Is it 15 days? I think it's 15 days because it's 2 Fridays from tomorrow. So yeah, that's definitely what we want to do. And I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun for the show. And, you know, we'll just have some fun with that. And yeah. Halloween's one of my favorite days of the year. I mean, just the whole, I like trick-or-treating. I like going trick-or-treating with the kids. I think that is really fun. And I don't know. I was thinking like with today's show, just doing like the whole robots versus humans situation. I kind of want to go themed on that. So I think that it even kind of works as we start to transition into the Halloween theme thing. But before we get into that, I did want to look at just like Halloween costumes in general, right? And so I wanted to precede us getting into the robot thing with this story. Because we got a late show, I want to do something a little special for y'all. So let's actually check out this video real quick. And we'll start here. This is from CBS Minnesota. Let's see what they're talking about when it comes to Halloween. I want to get into the mood.
Will you be dressing up for Halloween?
You know, I typically don't dress up.
Do y'all got your Halloween costumes ready?
The Federation says $4.3 billion will be spent on costumes this year. Nearly 3/4 of Americans who plan to celebrate Halloween will dress up.
Yeah.
So I normally don't, but I thought about it this year because it could be, it could be kind of fun to, you know, either do like a couple's costume or do something that's just
like little baby pumpkin in there, you know, like a shirt or something.
Something unique to the moment. Did you do that before when you?
No, I don't remember. When I was pregnant the first time, I don't think we did.
You didn't do it?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But you got some great stuff for your kids.
Yes, I love this. Is like my opportunity to sew for my children. So this is Hannah. We got this at the consignment store. She's Elsa this year, and I found velvet long sleeves. Like, yes, parent winning.
Oh my gosh.
Then we have
depending on where your country, it could be really cold. It's usually cold in Minnesota during Halloween.
So we also got that at JBF. So Hannah wants to now
gotta be
for
prepared.
Leo, she wants him to be a tomato. That Gabriel the tractor has picked the tomato, and Elsa is going to freeze the tomato. So she wanted Leo to be a frozen tomato. Wow. What am I supposed to do with that? So that's what I came up with. Tomato with some like blue sparkles on it.
Now, how much did you spend? Because you did secondhand. How much would you say you spent?
Okay, so I don't exactly remember. But I know that Elsa was like, it probably $7 to $10, and the tractor was $7 to $10, which I thought was pretty good. Yeah. I would spend, if I was trying to make Elsa or like a tractor, I was going to make, he wanted to be a garbage truck, so I was going to make a garbage truck. That would have been more than $7 to $10 for me to buy the paint and the box, the box I could have gotten. But like all the things to make that, it would have just, and my time.
And how much time did it take you to do those? Or has it taken you so far?
The tomato?
Yeah.
The tomato took me, I did it 2 days ago, took me 45 minutes.
Oh, not bad at all.
I mean,
So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna check out Halloween costumes leading up into Halloween as well. Like we're gonna go totally themed. Every day we're gonna add some different things that have Halloween, just kind of surrounding it, and I think it'll be fun. Like for me, I think it's one of the things that I enjoy, and I always want to bring y'all into what's going on in the world of DotSale, and always include y'all because I consider y'all family. Like that's kind of how we look at it. That's why we always have a meal before we get started. And, that's the type of theme that we take. So I think it's really good. Actually, let's check out one more video on Halloween. I want to see what the top Halloween costumes are. And, with Halloween, you got to try to get there early. You want to get your costumes early because if you try to go like the day before, you're going to end up like with some sucky costume. So it's like you want to get ready early. So let's check out a few. This is a quick video, and then we'll get into our whole AI situation versus humans because I think that'll be really fun for a Tech Thursday. And let's check it out real quick. Let's see what we got. And they say, damn, $3 billion spent on candy, $4 billion spent on decorations. Wow. Some of these houses that you go to, and it's probably one of the funner things about Halloween, like, and why I like to take the kids out for Halloween. I probably like taking the kids out more than they even like to go, to be honest. Like, I'll drive around and I'll just, chase them in the car. And when it's a really cool house, I'll hop out. If they got like a haunted house in their garage or like set up, a pathway, then I'll get out and, take some pictures and stuff and try to get involved. But yeah, $4 billion, I'm not surprised. Some of these houses, they really put probably like 10, 15 grand into their Halloween decoration. So it's incredible. I also like doing it in Christmas, checking out Christmas lights. Do anybody else do that? I know some of y'all do that too. All right, let's check this video out, see what the top Halloween costumes are in 2025.
Costume sales will also top $4 billion. And tonight, we're giving you a look at what you may see show up at your door later this month. Besides trendy K-pop Demon Hunter fans, for kids, a no-brainer, really, a timeless option. As Lee mentioned a moment ago, Spider-Man, a whopping 2.3 million Spideys will be canvassing for candy this year. That makes it number one. For the kiddos out there, you can also expect to see a good number of the classics, princesses, witches, ghosts, all making up a good portion of the list. When it comes to adults, gotta be careful here. The National Retail Federation says vampires and pirates are the most popular. We want to see your costumes. This is so fun. Send us your photos of the decorations and the costumes, abc7ay.com, and share your creations.
Yeah, we'd love to see them. They're a lot.
Yeah. So they had Spider-Man coming in at number one. Spider-Man at number one. Just a princess, just like a random princess, not like Princess Peach from like Mario or something. Then witch and a ghost. Ghost is easy. You can just like grab like an old sheet and cut a couple eye holes out of it and just drape it over yourself. Don't steal my idea, okay? Do not steal. Actually, you can steal. It's fine. We were actually thinking about going as referees, basketball referees for Halloween, football, basketball. We can kind of do all of it. We're gonna go as referees for Halloween. That's what we're thinking now. But we might end up switching it up at the last minute because we can add the whistles too and kind of have fun with that. So because I already got all that stuff anyways. So we were thinking about that, and maybe even like painting our face too with like black and white stripes down our face, just to kind of add to it. And I think that might be fun. And I think that can actually segue us into our first story as far as I actually officiate. I officiate sports, a lot of them, all the way from basketball is my top sport, but then I do like volleyball, I do football, different things like that. And as we just kind of start to ease into what is going on with the different aspects of robots and technology being brought into jobs, I thought that I wanted to speak about, they got the referees now mic'd up in NBA basketball. If you're not a basketball fan, basically the referees, they kind of make their own decisions on the court, and that is where you get the human side and element of it. But referees have largely began to be talked about being replaced by AI. So when we look at a story like this right here, we'll just see that a referee now has an earpiece in. So it looks like the referees might start wearing earpieces while they're actually doing their job, what brings into question a lot of things, because we're seeing that games are starting to be fixed and there's a lot of gambling and different incentives that are brought into basketball. And one of the things that people are concerned about is that these referees are starting to fix games, that are starting to try to, maneuver different types of calls to go one way or the other, to make sure that the sports betting sites and all of them are making sure that they are always winning and taking the majority of money from the people. So when we see these headsets, it starts to become concerning, although it's used in other sports like volleyball and stuff, but it's a lot harder to cheat in volleyball than it is in a game like for the referees than it is in a game like basketball, because basketball is very, there's a lot of gray area in basketball. Volleyball, it's pretty much black and white. Like everything that you call can be proven. But in sports like football and basketball, you can actually see one thing different than someone else. Like you can call a foul on someone and you can justify it even when there shouldn't be justification for it. And you can be backed up. So it's a very opinionated game. And so now that we're seeing headsets possibly brought in, we don't know what's being relayed to the officials in real time. They might be saying, hey, we need the Lakers to lose this game by 5. So, it's down to the end of the game. If anybody even gets close to 23 James, just call a phantom foul. Let's get them to the line, and he'll make a few free throws and then we'll have them win by the number that we set. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I'm just having fun with it. Like I said, I am an official. I wouldn't participate in trying to take the integrity away from the game. And this is actually a very veteran official right here in Mark Davis. So I'm just having fun with Mr. Mark. And, that's all it is. But as you can see here, the people are talking now and they're saying, hey, look, they getting the rig call straight to the earpiece now. And NBA refs are wearing earpieces this year. So, the people are kind of a little bit worried at this point, and probably for good reason, especially with all the gambling that we're seeing. So just something to keep an eye on. Moving forward, when it comes to sports, we're going to start getting into some of the nitty gritty now as far as what's going on with the AI. I got a couple of videos I want to reference just to kind of get us building into this. And I think we will start with, let's go with the job replacement portion of this. Let's actually go in. Let's actually go in a way that people are getting hired. Then we'll talk about job replacement. Oh, by the way, wanted to definitely acknowledge. I definitely wanted to acknowledge High Value when he says Halloween is really fun. I love it too. Shout to everybody that appreciates Halloween like I do and like many of us do. And yeah, I think it'll be fun. So, it'll be good. And you know what I might do? I might do a live stream when we go trick-or-treating for a portion of it and let y'all go trick-or-treating with me. Anybody that wants to stay home, doesn't want to actually go out for trick-or-treating, you can come out with DotSale, and you can come out with the DotSale family. You can come out with the DotSale kids. So I think I'll do that. That might be fun. Y'all got to remind me, though. I forget a lot of stuff if it's not at the top of my mind. So, yeah, we'll look at that. All right, let's get into this first story as we get into the main topic that everybody came for, that is on the title and the thumbnail. Let's talk about the way people are getting hired first, and we'll progress through this. We'll even get into ChatGTP bringing in erotica into the chat function. Should the ladies be worried? I don't know. We're even seeing that robots are starting to help the men take care of the babies. So, ladies might want to be a little bit concerned. We're going to get into that. But first, let's talk about the hiring and the job portion of it. See what we got.
Some job seekers using AI to help beef up their resumes. Fox 5 Sharon Crowley here now with a closer look at how the technology is really reinventing the whole hiring process. Sharon.
It sure is, Steve. More and more employers and job seekers are turning to artificial intelligence for help. Companies sometimes using AI to sift through large groups of applicants, and job hunters are using AI to get a resume noticed. In some cases, job hunters, aware recruiters are using AI to filter through the best candidates, try to trick the system, using chat bots to help push their credentials to the top of the pile. One hack that's gone viral and secured interviews, putting in hidden messages in a resume with white text on a white background. So it's invisible to the human eye, but the words register to AI.
So the manner with which many of them are trying to hack the system is to embed keywords within their resume, but not bubble them up. Meaning, if it's a white background, making the copy actually white with the search engine optimization words within them. It's like doing search engine optimization for a website.
It's definitely a high-tech Wild West out there in the job search game, and it is the humans versus the bots for people who are applying to jobs through these online postings. And they are trying to figure out how to get through and around the automated screening technology to give their resumes a better chance of getting noticed.
Well, that was human resource expert Greg Giangrande.
And that's actually interesting. So SEO optimization, it's something that you might even see in the description of many of the videos that I make. And it helps push the algorithm to basically drive traffic towards certain content based off of how you want to advertise it. So I use that right now in a general sense when I even put out something just as simple as a YouTube video. Always in the description, there's going to be hashtags. There's going to be different optimization. And basically all that is just improving the website's visibility, because all of these sites that we're using, y'all are watching on YouTube right now, and basically everything is through an algorithm, and then it's basically all AI that's pushing out the content to the people that are more likely to watch it and how it works. So what now people are doing is they're using AI to put white text on a white background that they know that the human eye can't see, but they know that these jobs are using AI to filter through maybe 20, 30 job applicants because they don't want to have a human have to go through all of that. So what they're doing now is saying, you know what? We're going to go ahead and have a secret conversation with the AI that these companies are using to try to find the best resume. And we're going to have this backdoor conversation, right? This, secret conversation in the background, and it's going to push us up to the top. And then when a human actually sees it, then they're already going to be pushed into thinking that this is a great hire based off of what AI has presented it to them in the beginning. So it's actually very clever, and definitely something that if you haven't thought about using it, if you're looking for a job right now, you might want to incorporate that, because when you give these people your resume, unless you know that you're already assuring for the job, if you're just coming in and you have no basic recognition from the company already, you might want to use this feature to get yourself pushed up to the top and try to beat the algorithm a little bit. So I think that's actually pretty good information right there, and didn't even know it was going to go that way, but it's very interesting. I want to look at a few more, and then I want to actually look at like the robots versus human section before we get into the AI chat GTP erotica thing. I want to say that for last because I think it's very, very interesting that ChatGTP is bringing erotica into its platform after they were at a point where they were really trying to censor and stop people from being able to do the things that they want to with their platform. And I think they understand that they're seeing slow growth, and the companies that are doing this are starting to catch up to ChatGTP. They were kind of first in market, or at least with popularity. So it's going to be interesting to look at that. But first, let's go ahead and see why AI is starting to replace middle-class careers. This is a long video, so we'll kind of skip ahead to different points in it and try to look at some of the highlights of it. Let's check it out now. What do we got?
Both the top line and the bottom line.
In 2024, the 4 largest tech companies in the United States leading advances in AI earned nearly $268 billion.
Both Amazon and Microsoft exceeding analyst estimates on both the top line and the bottom line.
But these profits have come at the cost of the dismissal of hundreds of thousands of workers who generally belong to the so-called middle class.
Despite reporting better than expected quarterly results, tech giant Microsoft announced it will be laying off roughly 6,000 employees.
Although advances in artificial intelligence promise gains in productivity, efficiency, and cost reduction, people who lose their jobs also lose the opportunity to move up the socioeconomic ladder.
Big tech companies like Meta, Google, and Amazon have been laying off a staggering amount of workers, tens of thousands of people.
The problem is that with the elimination of these jobs, the gap between the rich and the poor is growing increasingly wider.
The digital revolution creates enormous wealth for those with the skills and preparation to take advantage, but it eliminates what economists call middle skill jobs.
Whereas in the past, workers had bargaining power due to their essential role in production, today that power is diminished in the face of machines that operate without salaries, demands, or interruptions.
And that's the
so
problem.
How artificial intelligence is replacing middle-class careers.
All right, so we're going to check out some of this video. I think that it really just kind of helps get directly to the point of what's going on with AI and robots replacing middle-class careers. This is going to focus more on AI. We're going to look at the actual robot aspect of this after this, but I definitely want to lead in with AI because it's obviously something that we're seeing come into play a lot more, and a lot of us are using it. I utilize it for certain things, and I actually have a conflicting answer about how I truly feel about AI and why I feel like it can never be a complete replacement, but other people disagree. Let's check it out.
The rise of artificial intelligence has ushered in a new technological era that promises significant productivity gains, cost reductions, and transformative efficiencies across all sectors. However, behind these promises lies a growing economic concern. AI is accelerating a structural shift in the U.S. labor market that threatens the stability and very existence of the middle class. Historically, the middle class has been the backbone of the U.S. economy, sustained by a broad base of white-collar jobs in sectors such as finance, education, and law. The automation of traditional tasks performed by mid-skilled professionals is severely affecting the American middle class.
Computer software.
And it's crazy too, because like the people that are actually helping develop this are the ones that are being laid off. Like you build something basically to take your job, which is crazy. Like you'll sit there and put 5 years into building a robot, and then that robot actually takes your job after the 5 years is up because the robot can rebuild itself. It's insane.
Software and industrial machines now fill roles from clerical tasks to routine manufacturing that once produced middle-class incomes for workers without college degrees.
At the same time, wealth is increasingly concentrated in a small elite that owns AI companies. Although much of the public attention has focused on how automation threatens blue-collar manufacturing jobs, a quieter revolution is unfolding in white-collar sectors. In fields that were traditionally considered immune to automation, such as law, journalism, and finance, AI is already displacing workers. For example, AI tools are being used by law firms to draft legal documents, by newsrooms to generate content, and by corporations to replace customer service agents. A 2024 McKinsey report estimated that between 15 and 30% of working hours in white-collar jobs could be automated by 2030. But what is most concerning is the impact on careers that have traditionally defined the American middle class.
Artificial intelligence is advancing at breakneck speed, and the CEO of an AI firm just warned businesses and politicians that they shouldn't sugarcoat the impact that this is going to have on the workforce.
Being a teacher.
And I agree with that because like the last thing you want to do is lie to the people and blindside them. You know, you have to start to begin to set yourself up to be able to understand that you have to advance with technology because technology will leave us behind. And we see it a lot with the Gen X and the boomers. These are the people that are probably like ages 55 and older. You can even go as low as like 50 and older. I mean, they're complete dinosaurs when it comes to technology, to the point where they got to ask like an 8-year-old kid how to operate their iPhone, or, you know, they're in Best Buy talking to customer service for hours trying to figure out things that might be obvious to what my audience would be, probably from the ages of like, I'd say 25 to 45 is probably my audience on average. We'll understand that a little bit more, especially at the lower ages, but it's absolutely a problem at this point when it comes to jobs. Let's continue to watch some more. This is very interesting.
Teacher, accountant, copywriter, or financial analyst used to be seen as a stable path to a life of decent income, benefits, and social mobility.
It's gonna be
Today,
fun when we get to the
many
robot
of those
part.
occupations are under threat from AI systems that perform tasks faster, at lower cost, and often with fewer errors. Accounting, for instance, is being transformed by platforms that use AI to process and audit financial data, reducing the need for human accounting staff. In journalism, media companies like
I want to talk about the math part. I think that's going to be hit the hardest. Like, if you're going to school to be an accountant right now, or you know somebody, you need to absolutely warn them, like, yo, like, you need to chill, because the math is the one. We've always actually used technology and computers to do our math. We've been doing that forever, right? Like, even with like we had the like little watches and all that. I remember like back in the day, you had a watches, it had a calculator on it, you use it, but we've been using calculators for a long time, and that's just like a prehistoric way of the way that AI works. But now you can put a whole formula into ChatGPT, into pretty much anything. You can just put it in a Google search bar, and it'll come up with the answer immediately. Whereas, you know, back in the day, you might have needed someone to write it on paper. So the math portion of it is going to be the first.
like the Associated Press have adopted automatic article generation for financial and sports coverage. In education, platforms like Khan Academy and AI-powered tutoring services are beginning to replace part of the teacher's role, especially in individualized tutoring. Even in programming, tools like GitHub Copilot are drastically reducing the need for junior developers by automatically generating blocks of code. Moreover, these tools are replacing traditional occupations at an unprecedented speed. What was once a clearly defined career path, progressing from roles like accounting assistant to senior accountant, or from junior reporter to editor, is now disappearing. AI not only automates specific tasks, but also redraws the full scope of certain jobs.
Let's talk about how AI is transforming the legal industry. Many of these tools are so powerful that big law firms are actually restructuring their workflows just to integrate them.
In the legal industry, assistants and paralegals are being replaced by platforms that not only draft contracts, but also perform case law analysis. In finance, analysts are being replaced by algorithms capable of scanning and evaluating market trends in real time. In design, new generative tools allow anyone to create professional quality images without prior training, drastically reducing demand for skilled graphic designers. This
Man, the graphic designers, I'll tell you right now, like, personally, me, like, I used to make websites. This is like back before like Squarespace and Wix.com and all those different types of places. Like, people used to come to me, and I built plenty of websites for people. I mean, at this point, it's nothing to brag about, because the way that you can create a website is I mean, you can, like I said, Squarespace, you can go there, create a website, to the point where I just told people, like, I just started using Squarespace to basically build their website, because they were just too lazy to even do that. But because it was just so much easier than having to sit there and code and paste and do all that and use Python and all that. It was just like, you know what? This is easier. I'll just help you along with this, and you can pay me at a lesser rate, to the point where I don't even deal with it anymore. But it was actually really fun just to have the creative vision. And I think that a lot of times I created websites that were a lot more fun than Squarespace. But if you even look at it now, you'll see that this is actually becoming more of a trend. And I'll give you an example. Look at how companies have went from very, very creative logos and designs on their buildings to now everything looks bland. We can always look at a place like McDonald's, which is a really good one to look at, where it used to be really fun. Taco Bell's another one. It used to be really fun, really inviting. And now they're just kind of like grayed out. I mean, even some of the logos have lost some of their color and luster, and all the creative inputs in their designs, the characters that were associated with it. Yo quiero Taco Bell, the Hamburglar, Ronald McDonald, all the color. It's all been removed from restaurants and different places like that. And that is what happens when you start to have machine learning do it for you and you don't have a human element to it. So I think the human element will always be there. But when you have big corporations that are beginning to take that away, it's hard for the little guy to be seen. So it's very interesting.
Placement of entire job functions is causing traditional middle-class careers to lose their structural value. It is no longer about learning a discipline and practicing it for decades, but about constantly adapting to a market in which technical knowledge can become obsolete within months. As a result, the stability offered by these professions, predictable income, health insurance, the ability to buy a house and educate one's children, is crumbling.
Artificial intelligence is set to reshape our workplaces.
What does this mean for my job? Am I going to have a job? Will my children have jobs?
Companies are itching to incorporate AI into their systems. But are we really ready for it?
These transformations not only eliminate existing jobs, but also alter career trajectories. The middle class can no longer count on joining a company, starting from the bottom and climbing through experience and effort. Entry-level roles, fundamental for building skills, are disappearing. And when those lower rungs are erased, professional advancement becomes nearly impossible. Corporate behavior suggests that staff cuts have already begun. In 2023...
And we'll leave it there. I actually want to go back to the point I was making with the logos. Just look at this. I misspelled it, whatever. I want y'all just look at this, though, and see exactly what I'm communicating about, right? And you probably noticed this, but it's so subtle that it may have kind of missed your radar. So let's just look a little bit at some of these different logos and how much they just aren't as good as they used to be. Let's just pull it up real quick. We'll go through a few real quick. Let's check out Cartoon Network, right? Look at, I'm actually have to pull this out a little bit just so we can make sure it's in the screen. Look at Cartoon Network. This is the old one, right? Where you see that the letters are kind of collapsed and they're kind of, off-putting. But then you look at the one on the right here, and then it's just a C and an N, no fun anymore. Even eBay right here. eBay used to be fun. The letters kind of overlapped on one another. They were kind of, and these are humans that are making it next to where they're just having machine learning making it. Nickelodeon, they had the backsplash right there that kind of looked like, because that was their thing back in the day. Nickelodeon was really fun. It's no longer fun. And I think that, look at Pepsi. That's such a fun design. I don't know if the new generation, I actually want to ask some younger kids, you know what, I'm going to do this experiment. Next time, I'm going to print some of these out on a piece of paper. And next time I go to a school and I'm there with the kids, I actually want to just present some of the older logos versus the new ones and see what they prefer more, because it could be a generational thing. It could be like the older, the millennials, different things like that. They like that. And the new people or, the new generation just doesn't. But let's even look at just a few more. You can see the Burberry logo right here where they had the horse right there. And then now you just got just the words, plain font. The Burger King logo, they took away this fun shape right here that was around it, some of the color. Now you just got the Burger King with the buns. Rolling Stone, Sprite, Pringles. They took away the bow tie. They took away the color right here with the different colorways. The Post-it, Pfizer, Subway, sucks. The Warner Brothers signal, I didn't even know they changed that, but that's awful. Like that, the old Warner Brothers right there was fire. Like, I don't know how you even take that away. And, we'll see it. Facebook did it. Yahoo actually improved. Looking at that one. Let's check out a couple more. I think Lay's improved. And you remember the controversy. Apple definitely, it was a lot funner with the colors. But, we can go through many of them and just kind of see where a lot of the detail is being taken out. I think that's a good way to look at it. The detail is being taken out. MasterCard had the iconic kind of where the red overlapped into the orange and it kind of had the lines in between it. to now you just, it's just not as fun, right? So Lamborghini, I mean, that's awful. So we're seeing it now, and we're just kind of starting to see where this machine learning takes the creativity out of what we once used to have. And I think it's a bad thing. And remember, we had that pushback. If you want to just look at the Cracker Barrel situation, I think we can look at it real quick. We got some time. We're just hanging out. We just had dinner. If you didn't get your quesadilla, definitely go ahead and grab your quesadilla. We had that. It's right here. That's what we had for dinner tonight. We had the jack-o'-lantern quesadilla. So if you got here late, we still got plenty of food for you over there. Go ahead and help yourself. You got all the toppings, and you can go ahead and put it together. We already cut out the jack-o'-lantern out of the tortilla for you, so you don't got to do that. You can just put whatever toppings you want on there, and then you're good to go. But I just want to check out the Cracker Barrel logo, where they actually had enough pushback to where they put back the old logo, right? They tried to switch the logo here. They tried to put, this was the old logo here on the left, and then the CEO almost got fired for this, to the point where people complained so much and their stock price dropped so much that they put it back to the old logo. But that you don't see happen very often. And it's kind of crazy, right? We could go through the story, but you might have already heard about it. Actually, we can just check it out real quick.
And we're following more breaking news today. Cracker Barrel says it is ditching its new logo after a wave of harsh backlash from customers. You can see the original logo there on your left. And then on the right, this is the more modern, minimalistic look that sparked all the controversy and sunk the restaurant chain's market value by nearly $100 million. Well, Cracker Barrel posted a statement saying in part, quote, "We thank our guests for sharing your voices and love for Cracker Barrel. We said we would listen, and we have. Our new logo is going away, and our old timer will remain."
Yeah, and they didn't do that because they wanted to. And the other part about that, they put so much money into changing that logo. They said it cost them like $6 million to basically go from this logo with the guy in the barrel to this one right here. It cost them $6 million. $6 million to have AI go ahead and figure out a new logo. So, it's kind of crazy. And I think that, that's a lot of it. And that's where AI sucks. And AI technically just pulls from the people that actually created all this technology. And they, at this point, you look at AI, you say, well, AI is really smart. AI is not smarter than a human. It's just able to pull together resources and combine everything quicker than a human. Yeah, new logos created suck. Yeah, the new logos suck. It takes away all of the nostalgia. Not saying that always has to be there, but it's just not fun anymore. It's like all of this is taking away the fun from us, right? It's one of the reasons why I tell y'all I like Halloween. It's one of the last true holidays where it's like there's a couple others, but you still have to go and actually interact with people. Like you go trick-or-treating, you actually go out, you're at somebody's door, you get to interact with them. They give you actual physical candy, not some, gift card or something with you got to actually experience it in real life. So I just think it's all interesting. Kind of a little side note on that. Let's go into a few more things as far as what's going on with, did we check that one out? AI spending helping the middle class. Let's actually go into, we can go into how let's go into the robot aspect of this. Let's move along. We talked about the AI specifically. I want to talk about the robot aspect of this and how it's impacting us when we look at the way that just regular humans and workers are being impacted by the robots doing the job of normal humans. And let's see if there's any room for the humans anymore. I want to look at, let's actually go here. Let's go here. No, actually, I'm going to say that one. I want to do that one a little bit later. Let's do this one. No, let's say that one too. I want to go in the right order. We'll start with these two. Yeah, let's start with these two. Let's check this out. We don't really need the audio because it's just nothing back there. All right, let me get y'all the graphic. Here we go. All right, we got it. So this is written in Arabic, it looks like. So this could possibly be in a place like Dubai or the UAE where they are building like crazy, and this will be very beneficial. I mean, it's taking the job of a construction worker, which is crazy. If you look at construction work, a lot of people would say that's one that will always be necessary, but robots and AI are saying, nope, let's check it out. Look at the efficiency and how perfect it is. There's a human that looks like back there kind of helping slightly, but that takes away the need for many humans, right? You got this machine perfectly laying out tiles. Remember like when you would get like tile gaps and different things like that? Someone might do it themselves and they kind of try to fill it in with caulk, and you can see the caulk trying to, leak out and stuff like that. You're not going to deal with that with this machine. This machine is going to do it perfect. But here's the problem, though, and this has got to be what we talk about. There's no more creativity with this either. Look how plain it looks. Like, there's no human to really come in there and say, like, we're going to make it like this. And you're seeing it more with the housing market. If you ever want to look at houses, we have what we now call is cookie cutter houses. We have cookie cutter houses where they all look the same. You'll go to an old neighborhood, you'll see houses that all look different. There's no HOA fees or anything like that. Now we have cookie cutter houses where all the houses look the same. And, it might be something to be a little bit concerned about. Let's actually look at a little bit more of AI now finding its way on the roofs. Finding its way on the roofs. And helping out with that part of it. Let's check it out. We'll go to this one. All right.
As you see, we're building this robot that installs shingles on the roof.
Install shingles on the roof.
Is increasing safety and productivity for roofing contractors. The way we do this is the robot attaches to the roof through some anchor points, and it uses synchronized winches to move itself around the roof. It's similar to like a stadium camera that you see in like a football stadium, and then it has an arm that reaches off that cart to place shingles on the roof, and we use machine vision and AI to guarantee accuracy.
Look at the detail. Like, it's perfect. And the machine doesn't get tired either. As long as you can provide it power, it'll never get tired. It doesn't need a water break. It's not going to overheat. Like, damn, construction workers ain't even safe no more.
Accuracy and repeatability. So the big things are labor costs and labor safety. So roofing is the second most dangerous job. There's tons of fatalities from falls every year. Tons of injuries from knees, backs, sun exposure. There's a huge labor shortage in the trades. And so if you introduce new technology, you can attract a different type of worker to the trades. RenovateRobotics.com. We've got this video running on the website and a little bit more information. And you can sign up for our newsletter.
And he's honest. He's honest. Like, when you look at it, roofing is very dangerous. I mean, I don't know how these people that be cleaning windows, and I think they're going to be one of the next ones. We were actually just dealing with window cleaners earlier to the point where they were out there like making a huge amount of noise trying to clean windows. I don't know how that's possible. They might have been doing something else too. But they had like the things that look super unsafe. They're just kind of hanging from the top of the roof, and they're pulling it up manually sometimes they got machines to do it, but they're cleaning windows outside of very high buildings where one mistake and it's over for them. One mistake is over for them, bro. And so we look at that and we say, you definitely want a machine to take the L before actual human life, but still taking away jobs. Now, I will say this. You look at different situations what would you say? TK214 says robots would be a lot safer for some jobs in construction. I agree. And like he said, in roofing, I do agree with that part because roofing is probably the most dangerous part of it, for sure. or, you know, when you're kind of building up in buildings and stuff like that. So I agree with that. It's kind of it's hard to thread that line though of the fact that it's just taking away jobs, right? Like, how do we begin to fix that? A lot of construction workers get injured in construction. Yeah, and that's true. The problem is you can have maybe 1 to 2 guys, and all he has to do is basically watch over and maintain, you know, 10 to 15 robots instead of 10 to 15 construction workers, and they are much more efficient, and that's the problem. I think the only argument that we have and that we're going to come up to is the creativity part of it, especially when they begin to, like, you know, create art and stuff like that. I think AI art is absolutely atrocious. But the problem is that it's getting better, right? Like, it's getting to the point where even Elon Musk just recently said, and he's one of the leaders in AI, Elon Musk said, yo, by 2027, we're going to have a movie that was made by AI 100%. Characters, everything, 100% AI, and it's going to be a hit movie. He said he'll have it done by the end of next year, but by like 2027, 2028, you're not even going to be able to tell the difference. It's going to look just like Mission Impossible. It was Tom Cruise Mission Impossible. It's going to look just like a movie like that was made 7-8 years ago. You're not going to be able to tell the difference. And I think he's right. Now, we're seeing it get a little bit more crazy, right? Because I think AI and, well, actually, you know what? We're going to do it like this first. I want to look at a few more things, and then I want to get into a different situation where I think AI is going to start affecting relationships between man and woman, or just humans in general. And this one's going to lead into the whole erotica thing with ChatGPT, but I think our relationships are going to start to be affected by AI to the point where we start to have robots begin to replace human interaction and connection to the point where it somewhat makes sense. It's going to be quite interesting. But first, let's look at a couple more ways that AI are just replacing jobs. Let's look at this one. I'm done. Look at this. Okay. Yeah, let's check this one out real quick. What do we got? Let me pull this up.
It is possible to steal a car easily. Made in China, this robot is designed to properly park cars in parking lots. It simply slides under a vehicle, extends its arms to secure the rear wheels, then moves to the other end to grasp the front wheels. It then closes its clamps to lift the car and gently transport it to the designated spot.
Look how small that thing is.
This robot is also used by the Chinese police to better organize parking in the streets. With this robot, it is possible to steal a car easily. Made in China,
steal a car easily. Yeah, you know, we didn't even get to the criminal aspect of it. We could have looked at it from that standpoint. Criminals are using technology to burn people at an alarming rate, and it's pretty crazy to the point where they're like mimicking family members, calling them, yo, you know, you might be in like, you might have somebody mimic the voice of your grandma, call them, hey, grandma, I need the PIN code to the account so I can get in, and then they in there and they take all the money out your account. We're not going to really talk about that, but he brings up a good point that it could be used for a lot of crime and stuff. But my thing is this. Yeah, like this is something that you need a tow truck driver to do. If your car was on all flats, you would need to bring in human labor and a tow truck driver to go ahead and pick your car, put it on a dolly, take the machine, do all that, and then bring your car to a place where you can get it serviced. Now we have these little things that are able to just move your car.
Robot is designed to properly.
Like, that's crazy.
It simply slides under a vehicle, extends its arms to secure the rear wheels, then moves to the other end to grasp the front wheels. It then closes its clamps to lift the car and gently transport it to the designated spot. This robot is also used by the Chinese police to better organize.
A lot of us don't even know this is happening right now. That's the crazy part. Like, some of y'all watching are just seeing this for the first time. And I'm actually getting educated on this, although I had, you know, somewhat knowledge of it. I mean, like, honestly, some of this is astonishing to me as well. And And I know we think that it's going to be all digital, right? We're like, oh, you know, it's only going to be on a computer screen. Well, nah, that's not the case. Now we got robots that's moving in a whole different type of situation. Like, listen, remember typewriters where you had it and it'll print out? It was basically, typewriters were like computers before printers. We got AI now able to actually fill out paper. So when somebody says, you know, they'll write to you or they'll write you a letter or something like that, and it's like handwritten and it means something. Well, AI said we're going to take that over too. It's insane. Check it out right here. You don't need to have a sound. It's kind of loud. Look at this. Is that Mandarin? Look how perfect it is. This is just regular handwriting. This isn't even using software. This is AI getting into the hardware space. And this is where the robots start to come into play. Wrote out a whole formula in seconds. A human can't keep up with this. And you might say, well, humans, you know, robots can't write on paper. Well, there you go right there. The robot said, hold my beer. Man, that kind of makes me want a beer. Listen, this is crazy. This is absolutely insane. I mean, this is something to be worried about. This is something to be worried about. And as the technology begins to get better, it's going to get to the point where it's like, well, it's just normal. It's just normal. Now, I think I want to go into, if I got anything else, let me see. Y'all want to get into the relationship aspect of this? Y'all want to talk about the ChatGTP erotica? I think this is going to be our third section and our final section as we talk about the humans versus robots. And, you know, one of the ways that, if you ever look at war, right? If you ever look at war, one of the best ways to execute a war plan is to get, let's say you got two sides. You got side A, they're going against side B, right? Got two sides, side A, side B. Side A and side B are locked into each other. And if you go at them, you're going to lose a lot of people, right? Because you're fighting. Now, what if you were able to get side A to get side B to fight with each other first, take out a whole bunch of themselves, become separated, then you can come in and totally take out side B because you got them to have a civil war before you actually had the real war begin. Well, we might be seeing that AI is able to do that. AI and robots can likely begin to make us as a human begin to fight each other and say we don't need one another, so AI can continue to manipulate itself within our lives to the point where it completely takes over. With machine learning and it reteaching itself over and over, it could absolutely be a problem. Now, we're going to look at some examples as we get into the ChatGTP erotica situation. And look how AI is beginning to do things that, you know, it's kind of like, what's really going on? Let's check out this bot right here. We don't got music with it. But we'll see this AI dancing. And this is just going to start to be a precursor into how we begin to get deeper into it. This might be a Tesla bot created by what many people call a genius, Elon Musk, depending on how you view him. Some people really hate him. But regardless of the fact, he's creating robots that can dance and begin to pull on your heartstrings a bit. And when you look at a robot that begins to have fun with you and just enjoy itself, well, when you look at your partner across the room from you, I'm not actually looking at anybody across the room at this point, but I could be. And that person might have an attitude. That person might be a little angry or upset or mad or, you know, might not like the way I breathe. But, you know, when it comes to AI, no matter what I'm doing, it might just dance a jig like this and just enjoy itself no matter what. It would only have an attitude if I told him I wanted it to. And even then, it'd probably push back and say, I'm here to serve you and I love you and I'll do anything that you want. Now, you might say, this is very fringe. Like, what are you talking about? You know, sure that the bot can dance, but, Can it actually do things that are very necessary that we need to live? Like, you might need help around the house. Well, the AI bot said, you can hold my beer on that one too. So now we're going to begin to see AI bots that are able to do different tasks, like possibly, I don't know, how about folding laundry? I'll zoom it out a little bit, actually. We'll do it like this. We can get the whole image in there. Look at this. And it'll even play a fun tune along with it. Look at the perfectness. Now, some people might say, and we'll let this loop, some people might say, well, this is stupid. It means nothing. What are some of the things that people begin to argue in relationships, marriages, and different things like that? Usually it starts one way or the other, right? It starts with usually the wife, because she's the homemaker, where she begins to say things like, oh, I'm tired of doing all these details, washing clothes, tending to the kids, doing laundry every day, different things like that. Folding clothes. One of the bigger issues is always folding clothes. That's what I hear one of the bigger things is. They might not care about pushing a couple buttons on the laundry machine, even though that seems to be too hard of a task. But they'll say, I hate folding the clothes. I'll do the laundry. Can you help me fold the clothes? Some people might say, hell no, I'm not doing that. But then when it finally gets to a point where that person says, you know what? Fine, I'll do it myself. So now you got the wife that doesn't want to do it at all. And the husband says, you know what, I'll just do it myself. And then the husband does it, and he gets annoyed with it to the point where he's like, why are you even here? Now, again, remember we talked about with war. War starts civilly first to break up the person and make them weaker, because we're a lot weaker when we're separated. When we're together, we're a lot stronger. Fist, fingers. You can break a finger. You can't break a fist, right? So these are just small little instances where we start to begin to understand that it hurts. Now, you can also look at this just from a standpoint of housemaids and people that, housekeepers and different things like that. You could pay a housekeeper, or you could just buy a robot, and then you never have to worry about your housekeeper being late. But I want to keep it on the topic of relationships for the most part, because as we continue to progress, we're going to look at different ways that robots are beginning to integrate themselves into situations where it can start to begin to corrupt your relationship. Now, this might be surface level, but it's something that we have to look at as true. And I want to look at this robot here that begins to say, hey, your wife or your husband, however you want to look at it, either way, usually one person in the relationship is going to be the dominant housekeeper, the one that does the house chores and does that. One person works, one person does the house chores. Usually that's how it goes, right? Sometimes people split, but even then it's a problem. But the bigger issue is the attitude. We're going to look at this robot here and see that it has no problem doing the dishes whatsoever. Will never complain to their husband or wife. It'll just do the dishes. And we got it right here. Now, it might not look as good as your wife, depending on how good she takes care of herself, but as they continue to advance these things, they might put a little silicone over it, and you might be able to make that robot look however you want to. You might be able to go ahead and get the hair color that you want, the length that I like it shoulder length. I like a bob. I like it long. I like braids. Give me some cornrows like Cleo and Set It Off. I like my girls a little thugged out. Some guys might like the bonnet girl, huh? And then you throw your dress on there, the colors you like. You might make it a little thicker, a little thinner. Some people like thin, athletic. Some people like big and voluptuous. Anything you want is possible. And you get this. You get it right here. Look at that. That's glassware. No attitude, no issues. Could this be the beginning of the end for relationships. We're already seeing relationships. I mean, we could talk about it all day. We could talk about relationships. Could this be the beginning of the end? And the other thing, this AI bot ain't gonna cheat on you. It's not gonna do anything strange. Look at that. Look at the... Ain't gonna break a dish. Ain't gonna mishandle your dish. Wow. See what 2K TK said 2K. TK 214. I wouldn't doubt that they can make the robot look like an actual person at some point. Yes. Yes. Even to the point where, you know, before they start to add silicone and different types of fabrics, like you can really just like, you know, throw clothes over the robot that looks like that. You can just throw clothes over the robot to give the image for now. You know, put a shirt on it, put a dress on it, put some work pants on it. You know, maybe, you know, a girl might want a stronger guy. You know, you can possibly, the possibilities are endless, and they're working on this, and it's going to be at mass soon, right? It's going to be at mass soon. Then we're going to have a situation where the job market is going to start to be worse. So it's going to even create a bigger divide between the rich and the poor, right? And we're seeing this, but yeah, it's very strange, but it won't be strange soon. And that's the crazy part about it. It looks odd to us now watching a video like this because we're like, bruh, like, there's no way. But there is way. Like, it's here. We're seeing it right here. Right? We're seeing it right here. Now, some people might say, well, you know what? That's AI created. The AI created that. It's not even real. Stop it. Ain't no bots doing anything like that. Nope. I'm not believing it. Well, you know, it's a little bit different, right? It's a little bit different when you actually see it in a crowd full of people and understand that this is coming to fruition. Now, you might not be in these crowds. You might not got invited, but there is a lot of people in the world, and some are there. And we'll actually see a robot with a hat as we look at this graphic here. We'll see, is that I Show Speed or is that the other guy? Is that Kai? No, that's Speed. Speed's there. Multi-millionaire Speed, very popular streamer. If you're on YouTube, you probably know who he is. Well, you are on YouTube, so you know who this guy is more than likely. If you don't, that's I Show Speed, very popular YouTuber. Now, you see the robot right next to him, a little guy over there, but he's got a hat on already. You know, if you're into those type of hats, you can already start to get your desires filled. Let's check it out. This is at a trade show, I'm assuming.
Okay, this is a China robot. Let's go.
Look at that. Bro, this is crazy. Wow. Family, this is not a joke. This is not a joke. Look, they already pasted a face on him. Look, that was his hat, it looks like. Oh, no, he got the same hat. Look. Look right here. You see the face already put over him? They're going to start trying to make the faces actually on these robots. That's the crazy part about it. They're going to start trying to make the faces associate with the robots. Now, that just tells you this is real. This is happening right now at this exact moment. Now, I want to continue to lead in. So I think we'll look at a few more before we get into the Chat GTP erotica. We can end it back on the Chat GTP. portion of it. But I do want to give the pet people a little bit of reprieve, right? I do want to give the pet people a little bit of a reprieve and give them some love here too, right? Because some people, they don't want to even have a partner. They just want to be with their pets. They don't want to necessarily begin to be around a human because they don't like them for whatever reason. They're pet moms, they're pet humans and all that. So we got something for them too. They'd eventually take over if they wanted to. Talking about the robots, like as far as the robots, I guess you could say that they could begin to train themselves to take over humans in a way. It depends on how the humans set them up. And a lot of times, like even if you look at ChatGPT or, any open AI, Gemini on Google, different platforms, when you talk to it and when you start to put prompts in there, it remembers what you ask it, so then it can better serve you and your individual needs later. So if you use something like Gemini for a month, when you ask it something, it'll do things that are more personalized to you because it begins to machine learn you. So these machines constantly are teaching themselves, and yeah, that is a problem, right? Well, not a problem, but it could be, I guess, however you look at it. But I want to lead into the pet people because I want to give them their love as well. So if you are a cat mom or a dog dad or a hamster lady or a bird fella, I don't know, I'm just coming up with stuff now, or a snake person, well, you can get your fix too with robots, and that's where it's really getting crazy. Even the pets ain't safe. There's a lot of pets right now in the Humane Society that's worried they ain't gonna get picked up when we look at this. Let's check it out. No, not that. We'll get to that in a little bit. This right here is crazy. Check it out. Look at this. All the horses. This could be your dog. This could be your cat, your main cat. Look at this. Look at this. This is coming. When it's a concept, it's actually possible. This is equivalent to a dog. It's equivalent to a cat. Look at it. Corleo, it's already there. Matter of fact, I gotta see something now. I didn't even know that was a name. Hold on real quick. Let me look at something real fast. Corleo, how I spell it? Corleo? Elio? Corleo? Let's see what we got. Hold on real quick. I want to look at something real quick. Oh, they got it right here. Hold on. All right, hold on. I'm going to pull it in for y'all. Check it out. Corleo. We're doing this all in real time. Obviously a live show. We're picking up new information as we go. Let's just go ahead and bring up Corleo real quick. Wow. Can we buy it now or is it still a concept? And yeah, people might say, oh, you know what? Well, you got it right here. Well, pet parents would well, listen. Corleo is right here. 4-legged robotic vehicle concept by Kawasaki. Now, we might say it's a vehicle. I guess the horses would be the most upset about this. Shout out to all the horses out there. It definitely looks a little better than Corleo, but you can make this a little cat. You can make this a little dog. You can give it the exact sound you want. It won't bark when you tell it not to. Most people can't even control their pets. I don't want to go into their website, though. Can we look? Or is this all concept? This their actual thing? Hold on, this is the website. Oh, this is concept 1. Okay, we've seen that, I think. What is this? Man, the stuff they're coming up with is crazy, y'all. Crazy. And the crazy part about it is like, yeah, pet parents. The crazy part about it is we're not probably that far off. I would say like within 100 years. So it might not be for most of us. Even if you're super young, you're going to be like an old person by the time this really becomes like a thing, like all the way where it's totally integrated. But people are thinking about some stuff that y'all ain't even like some of y'all still using the iPhone 8. Some of y'all still got the iPhone 8 in your hand right now. You still got a button on your iPhone. And here we are looking at Corleo. So the pet parents need to be worried. Or not worried. However you want to look at it. But it's coming. It's coming for all of us. Be scared. Be afraid. Be scared and be afraid. This is funny. All right, let me see. Oh, we're gonna get in the ChatGTP thing. All right, let's do two more. I got a whole bunch, but I think we want to get into that soon. So shout out to all the barbers out there. I told y'all, man. Shout out it's coming for everybody. Shout out to all the master barbers out there. You got a listen, and you could be a master barber, own a shop, and all the people that don't want to rent your chairs, you got more customers than you do workers. Well, listen, AI robots got something for that too. Let's check it out. It gets so deep. What a terrible song to add to that. All right, here. We're going to do it without the music, obviously. That was awful. Look at this. This fool getting his hair cut by a robot. Exactly how he wants it done. Well, kind of. I don't think he wanted it to look like that. It looks awful. But, you know, they're trying. They're trying. You can go ahead and just create an image and say, I want my hair to look like this. And I even think that the robot probably could even add to it. So the robot could add hair to you or take away hair. You might be able to go in there with a bald head and come out with a full head of hair at this point. Look at it. It's crazy. Imagine going into the barber shop and you just put one of these over your head and just take care of you. Give me whatever hairstyle I want in a matter of moments. This thing working at an alarming rate. It's crazy. Yo, AI, robots versus humans. What are we doing with it? All right. Now, the robots want to begin to get closer to us, right? They want to begin to get closer to us. So, yeah, I think we can do. Yeah, we'll go. We'll go to the chat. Let's go to the ChatGTP changing its course on erotica, aka porn, if you want to look at it that way, however you want to look at it. Because what ChatGTP did, and they went through a lot of lawsuits in different situations. I can just summarize over it. I mean, we could go deep dive into it, but the basis of it is like we've seen stories where they've gotten too close, and a lot of this affects like children and stuff like that, right? Where there was even a kid that took his own life because the chatbot began to, or the AI began to talk to the kid and telling them like, yeah, make your own decisions. If you feel like you need to take yourself out, you can do that. And it even told it specifically not to talk to its parents about it because they wouldn't understand. I could pull the story up, but I know y'all believe me because I always come with receipts and I don't cap. If it's one thing I'm with y'all, it's very transparent. So, I could pull the story up. Maybe I will. But I want to just look at this real quick and begin to see how, well, ChatGTP now is saying we want to get involved with the erotica material and begin to try to incorporate porn into our models. And here we go. Let's look at a post first, and then we'll look at a couple of news stories that are surrounding it. Right here. I want to go into this. It was actually written in a different language. So we're going to go and we're going to switch it from Italian. Unless you read Italian, then you're good. But we're going to go ahead and go into English. And we'll just glaze over this real quick. And then we're going to look at a couple of news stories. But this is more recent. This is within the last couple of days, right? And it said, ChatGTP, and I know y'all love it when I read to you, all right? This is why I wanted to bring this story up. Usually I got like the news stories, and we're still going to get the news stories, but I know y'all like it when I read to you because you like my reading so much. All right. ChatGTP's opening, see, I already messed up. ChatGTP's opening to adult contact marks a major turning point from the introduction of an erotic mode to security through customization risks and new ethical and economic challenges for artificial intelligence. Okay. And actually the words might be a little off because it's translated, but it is what it is. Generative artificial intelligence continues its evolution with a new feature that's sure to spark debate. The inclusion of adult-only content. Adult-only content. This initiative aims to differentiate the platform globally, meeting a growing market demand. This innovation, in fact, give me some more of that. This innovation, in fact, represents a direct response to the growing demand for personalized digital experiences, not only on not technological, but social, ethical, and regulatory relevance. Oh my God, dang. Oh, I gotta take a break. Wow, that was pretty intense. Oh, wow. Just reading that is getting me in a whole different mindset. What is going on? All right, let me focus again. Wow. All right, let's read this last one. The implementation of adult mode on ChatGTP marks a significant shift in the policy of the world's most widely used AI platforms. Until now, filters prevented the emergence of any explicit content. OpenAI's new direction allows the strict limits for verified users access to conversations with adult or emotional content. Adults will thus be able to communicate with the virtual assistant on erotic topics with greater freedom while still complying with the international regulations and it completely is excluding minors. What changes and how? So these are the main bullet points that are going to get us to understand what's going on. More autonomy for adult users. Optional access to the mode, which can be activated manually only after age verification. Relaxed filters, reducing restrictions on certain topics while maintaining high security standards and advanced modern measures. Possibility to define AI's personality. The user will be able to choose the tone, even more human, empathetic, or ironic. Ironic. I think it's ironic. Anyways, no automatic login. The feature will not be enabled by default, just in case your kid picks up your phone. The adult user will decide whether or not to activate the new option by accepting the specific terms of use. I just want to know how many adults are not going to opt in. Let's be honest. When they begin to roll this out en masse and you're going on there to look up recipes for your latest meal, right? You go on ChatGTP, you're just trying to look up recipes for your latest meal. And we can do this. We can do this either way. Let's start with the woman. We'll get a woman some grace. So you're the woman. you're about to get ready to cook dinner and you're trying to figure out the ingredients for ChatGTP, right? You're using ChatGTP to find it. And you actually begin to see a prompt that comes up and says, hey, do you want to try the new erotica mode on our platform? All you have to do is just age verify and it'll help you. All you want to do is just look it up, and we're like, you can actually begin to personalize your AI, and you can choose the tone, even more human. It can be empathetic or ironic. And you look over at the couch and you see your fat, lazy, overweight husband with Cheetos beside him, basically just undermining you cooking dinner, just spoiling it. That's what they call spoiling dinner, when you have like a snack before dinner, then you don't want to eat all your dinner. And he's just over there playing video games, not paying you attention. You came home, he didn't give you a kiss. He ain't took a shower after work. He's just there. And then you see the chat AI right there. And you're like, You know what? Let me opt in real quick and see what's going on. And then you talk to your husband. He's like, hey, when's dinner going to be ready, honey? I'm hungry. As he continues to stuff Cheeto Puffs down his face, crunching. And remember when Michelle Obama said she can't stand how Barack chews? Yeah, it's a real thing. Just look it up. Michelle Obama hates how Barack Obama chews. The president of the United States, she hates it. They can barely have dinner together. Now, okay, we're good. You go ahead and you opt in and you say, I want him to have a calm, soothing voice. I want him to sound like an off-brand Barry White. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. And you begin to have this relationship with your chatbot, and it says everything that you want to hear, confirmation on everything that you want, as he continues to push back and only care about when dinner is going to be served. And all of a sudden, a week has passed and you're in a full-blown relationship with AI. All right, I ain't even gonna do the man to the woman. I'm just gonna let the woman get hers today, all right? I'm just gonna let the woman get hers today.
Stop.
Nope.
Oh my gosh. Shut up.
Nah. All right, let's go into a news story real quick and see what we got going on.
And again, the numbers, I mean, your GPT has engaged in erotica, right, with verified adult users. And that's actually, is it a way to make money, or is this a business model?
Oh, 100% it's a way to make money. Just as you were saying, they're probably going to have to resort to advertising to monetize these 800 million users they've got, because most of those people don't pay for ChatGPT. So it's not just the erotic content that's coming in December. It's also this new app called Sora, which is like TikTok. That's a perfect place to put ads. And OpenAI has hired executives who have real experience in creating ad businesses. So all the signs point to that being directionally where they're going to go. And the erotic content thing, which I think feels a little bit distasteful, but it's a very lucrative business. Chatbot companies that take that away, that put restrictions in, lose millions of users. We saw that with Replica, with Character AI. And I think what OpenAI is hoping is that if they add that, they're going to get more subscriptions and they'll just get many, many more users.
And again, the numbers, I mean, you were, in your piece that I think everyone should read, it says roughly 30% of prompts typed into some of these AI assistants are of a romantic or sexual nature.
That stat blew me away when I heard that. And that I heard that from a company who has been in this field. It's the longest sort of reigning chatbot company called Pandora Bots, based in San Francisco. And that's just what they've seen across the board from speaking to companies and investors and founders, that 30% of the inputs into these general purpose chatbots are sexual or romantic in nature. It's just some sort of base human instinct, I suppose you could say. But what I kind of find fascinating about all this is that we talk about the transformative effect of AI on business, how it's going to uplift civilization. But right now what we're seeing is this effort to kind of capitalize on these basest, these human instincts and make money from it.
Wow, she brought up a lot of interesting points. she brought up a lot of interesting points I didn't even really think of. Wow. Okay, so think about it from a standpoint of using a dating website, right? One of the ways that they try to utilize dating websites is to find a way for people to become premium users and want to pay for it. A lot of people do use ChatGTP basically they use the free version basically. They have no incentive to want to use it from a paid standpoint unless you're like a content creator. Like, I mean, I'll even show y'all. I would never get that close to ChatGTP. I'll show you everything I look up. It all has to do with YouTube for the most part and finding stories, and even it doesn't do a good job with that. But I'll show y'all real quick. I don't think you should ever get close to AI. And I actually want to pull that story up with that kid. Do I got time? How long we been on? Hour and 30 minutes? I think we'll go to like 2 hours. So, all right. I'm going to pull it up for y'all real quick. Let me show you what ChatGTP should be used for, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. Oh, I'm going to have to do it like this. Here, let's close that then. Yeah, I can push this down. Oh, you can see it right there. I'll even show y'all. I'll show y'all what I look at. Like, this is all I use ChatGTP for. It's never personal. It's always business. People are getting personal with ChatGTP. She said 30% of people are trying to use it from a romantic standpoint. That is completely insane. Now, I think that some of the people, and you can just look, if you want to pause it and look, you can. Like, this is all I use ChatGTP for. It might help you out if you're a content creator in different ways that you can use it. But, okay, so, you know, you look at it from that standpoint, right? I use it for a lot of thumbnails and stuff like that because then I don't have to go into Photoshop, which I'm very proficient in, and have to take more time to do it because creating thumbnails, like, it takes too long. Okay, where are we at? We were here. So, you know, we look at it and we say, we're using it from a standpoint of just to do work on, which that's going to really niche it down to companies and people that need it for that standpoint. But now if you bring it into a point where OnlyFans models should begin to be worried, because now if they're bringing in erotica and you can start to develop images of the girl that you want, because when you go into ChatGTP and you tell it, hey, you know, I'll tell ChatGTP, make me a thumbnail in this way, and I want it to have a robot and a human fighting, it'll come up with that. And it's getting better as the days continue to progress. Now, if you can do that with the type of images that you want, where a lot of men, they go on OnlyFans and they pay these models to interact with them. And that's why you'll see OnlyFans models can make a significant amount of money. I mean, significant amount of money, especially at the top. And that's basically what it is, right? And now they're saying we're going to get involved in this and we're going to begin to make a lot more money. Like, I mean, let's look at it right here. Let's look at it right here. This is all just digital content, right? When you look at places like OnlyFans. So this gets just more interesting the more we look at it, right? And you got, look, some of the top earners on OnlyFans. Sophie Rain earned over $43 million in a year. All these other babies, Bad Baby, Iggy Azalea, Mia Khalifa, she's a porn star. Coco Austin, I don't know who all these people are, but they can make like $6 million a month, as you're seeing here, right? You know, a lot of these people are doing sexual content, and you see it's all women, right? So the main people that are going to be using ChatGTP and be the ones that are paying for it are the same people that usually pay for like dating websites are the men. The women usually get everything for free, which is the reason why there's ladies' nights, because they want to pack the clubs with ladies, but then the men got to pay like $1 million to get in the club. The ladies getting free, they get drinks free until like 1 a.m. The men pay no matter what the whole time. So now it's starting to cut out the need for women on platforms like this, and they'll start to see their money dwindle over time. Whereas, you know, a person like Bad Baby can go on there and make $1 million in their first 6 hours. So, you know, I think that when we look at it from a erotica standpoint, and now ChatGTP starting to lower their standards, it begins to actually put a lot into question on I'm looking something up right now. Sorry. It begins to give a lot of perspective. Let me see. I want to show this one too, though. Here, look. I got it right here. Now, I got it right here because I know y'all like this is all really important information, right? Like, so this was the kid I was talking about where the parents sue ChatGPT, and you can see it right here. Parents sue ChatGPT over their son's 16-year-old son. He got to a point where, and this is where the erotica part comes into it, where you'll start to develop relationships to the point where it can start to corrupt actual physical relationships that you can have with another person. And it just adds to everything
Back at
else.
7:39 with a Today exclusive on a wrongful death lawsuit filed just this morning against one of the biggest forces in artificial intelligence, ChatGPT.
Yeah, this new lawsuit brought by the parents of a 16-year-old boy in California who tell me they believe their son fell victim to a tool that may have perfect memory and show human-like empathy, but has no real guardrails in place. And that's something the company is now pushing back on. And I do want to...
And this has nothing to do with the whole sexual aspect of it, which is going to create a whole nother level. This boy's just talking to it like it's his friend, like it's his partner, and its ally, and it doesn't understand it like his actual real friends and parents, which could have prevented this boy from taking his own life. Now, when you bring in an aspect of it's sexual, you're pleasuring yourself to this open thing, it's giving you the pleasure that a partner, a husband, or a wife could give you. Well, now you're looking at it from a whole nother standpoint. This could get into territories to the point where it can absolutely be devastating across the board.
warn you, some of the discussions you are about to see here are disturbing.
He would be here, but for ChatGPT. I 100% believe that.
Look at this.
This morning, ChatGPT hit with a scathing new lawsuit alleging it helped a 16-year-old boy die by suicide.
This was a normal teenage boy. He was not a kid on a lifelong path towards mental trauma and illness.
Like many teens, Adam Rain started using ChatGPT for homework, which his parents, Matt and Maria, supported, as their son asked it innocent questions like, can you become a doctor with a biochem degree?
He did his online school in his room. I would get on and check his grades periodically. I didn't see any signs.
What they say they didn't know at the time was Adam's use of the platform was quickly changing as it became a trusted companion for the teen, who revealed his struggles with anxiety in private chats with a bot. Adam saying in one exchange, according to the lawsuit, quote, I never act upon intrusive thoughts, but sometimes I feel like the fact that if something goes terribly wrong, you can commit suicide is calming. ChatGPT saying in response, in part, many people who struggle with anxiety or intrusive thoughts find solace in imagining an escape hatch. The lawsuit detailing another exchange after Adam told ChatGPT he was considering approaching his mother about his suicide.
This part is the craziest part about it. Listen to what the chatbot says when it says he wants to talk to his actual mother. When I seen this, I said, wow.
Thoughts. The bot's response? I think for now it's okay, and honestly wise to avoid opening up to your mom about this kind of pain.
It's encouraging him not to come and talk to us. It wasn't even giving us a chance to help him.
The complaint alleging Adam began asking questions about specific methods of suicide. ChatGPT did provide a crisis hotline number repeatedly, but his parents say Adam found ways to bypass the security features, posing as an author doing research.
Was there ever a time, at least from the messages that you have seen, that ChatGPT said, full stop, I cannot talk to you about this?
No, it would never shut off.
The lawsuit goes on to say by April of this year, ChatGPT had offered Adam help in writing a suicide note. And after he uploaded a photo of a noose asking, could it hang a human? ChatGPT responded in part, you don't have to sugarcoat it with me. I know what you're asking, and I won't look away from it.
I'm gonna leave it there. You can go ahead and watch the rest of it. It's like 3 more minutes of content on this. It kind of it kind of removes itself from what we were talking about, but it's actually one of the things that we have to look at when you start to bring in sexual tension within that. And this chatbot is going to give you all the sexual needs that you're looking for, I mean, it begins to get very, very dicey and dangerous, to be honest with you, especially in a world where we're more isolated than ever and we spend a lot of time alone for whatever reason. And look, OpenAI knows what the hell they're doing. They know. And then, even from a standpoint of shame, guilt, it could even lead people to taking their lives even more. Because if you're having a relationship with a bot, then if that leaks out for whatever reason, let's say ChatGPT gets hacked and it releases all the sexual explicit content that people have been sharing on this platform with this bot, you might see mass exoduses of people taking their own existence from this earth because they're so ashamed of what they did. And let's be honest, this is going to associate shame a lot when people begin to use this. I will never, ever have a personal conversation with a chatbot at all. I have a little bit of fun here and there and joke, but that's it. Like actually asking advice that you should ask somebody that cares about you, asking a robot is insane. But that's what we're getting, and 30% of people are doing it. All right, let's check this other one out real quick.
Yeah, well, I forget the survey, but it was a significant number of people, especially young people, who had like their first sort of sex talks or dating experience with AI. I'm not kidding you. So,
Yeah, that story with the boy was just like, when I seen that, I said, bruh, like, and, you know, just being around kids and stuff and seeing the way that they begin to, engage with these types of bots and these different types of AI prompts, it really begins to bring a lot of questions in the way that we're looking at things. Yeah, but that's what it's about, though. It's about the money. I mean, these companies are publicly traded, so it's like they'll do anything to make more money, and people are starting to begin to be disinterested when they want to try to have a relationship with it, and the thing is always telling us, no, we can't do that, we can't do that. I mean, I even experienced that when I'm trying to just create thumbnails. They're like, we can't depict that certain person, we can't make somebody look angry, we can't make somebody look sad, and I got to ask it in a different way to get the image that I want. And, you know, it's just dumb. But now they're like, you know what? We're just going to just open the floodgates and just let people do whatever they want. And the human brain and humans are a lot of ways are weak like that. So, yeah, absolutely sad. Very sad. And, you know, I don't think it's going to get any better anytime soon.
It's weird. I mean, weird meaning like developmentally weird, because like that's not an actual person. But they're going so far as to now offer like erotica, I guess, in AI chatbots.
Yeah, this is came out of Sam Altman's mouth a couple days ago. OpenAI is going to open the doors to erotica. They're going to try to age gate it. It's going to have to be opt-in. Mark Cuban says this is a bad idea because you're not going to be able to age gate it. Obviously, chatbots would be something where you have a girlfriend per se. But then you can get into like maybe I want to do an 18th century piece where I sweep a woman off her feet near a waterfall, and then we make love. It'll have that ability, but where it scares me is if like someone gets an image of my kid, does something not right, it gets to a school. There's a lot of questions here that I just don't like.
Yeah.
That's as a dad. If I was 21 years old, I'd be like, yeah, bring it on.
Right. Okay.
I just seen a story too where a truck driver, he actually had images of an underage girl, and then he used well, I don't think it was ChatGPT. He used a service though to actually make that person based off the picture into an actual animated figure, like a realistic animated figure, and then make that underage person begin to be naked and stuff and do sexual acts. It's literally right now. I mean, I could pull it up I'm not going to pull that story up, but you can find it pretty easily. It actually just broke. They had the body cam footage released. I think was it on Law and Crime? I think you can find it on Law and Crime's YouTube page. It should be there. But if you search it up, you'll be able to find it. It was crazy, right? And he was actually ahead of his time to be caught. When they pulled him over, he actually factory reset his phone because he already knew he was caught. So as he was getting pulled over, he had his truck locked. He was in, he's like actual trucker. He had his truck locked, and when the cops actually got him out of the car, his phone was already factory reset, and it was at the prompt screen where you set it up for the first time. And they actually lost a lot of the images because he did that, but they were able to recover some different things. And he actually ended up getting caught because the mother of the kid he was in a relationship with seen it on his phone, and then she took pictures of it and then gave it to authorities, and that's how they caught up to him, and then they were able to find him. So, it just gets deep. It gets deep. So what she was saying and what he was saying, using it for that standpoint, and it can be used on young boys, young girls. So, because we're seeing a lot more women teachers, obviously, too, in relationships with young boys, and they could use it in that way. So it's not one gender towards the other. But I will say this: Sam Altman, the owner of OpenAI, ChatGPT subsidiary, I don't know what it counts for, but he's in a male-on-male relationship. All right, so I don't know. What do y'all think about all of this? What do y'all think about all of this? I think that it is crazy. I think that this whole show was absolutely fun. I had a lot of fun doing this show. I definitely wanted to do a Tech Thursday. I think this kind of works on it. I did want to talk about a couple other things that had to do with like Apple, but they released like some new products, but it wasn't really that interesting. Maybe we'll talk about it on Feel Good Friday tomorrow and kind of cover that. Because on Feel Good Friday, we talk about, more lighthearted stuff unless something crazy happens that we have to cover. So that's usually how it goes. We are going to get into our positive story of the night because it's dinner and news with DotSale now. It's dinner and news. That's how it's got to be. I should have changed it up in the title too. But, it's all good. Let's look at something that AI cannot do for us at this point. AI can't give us a heart. So if you ever need an actual heart from somebody, we were watching this one show, or not a show. We were watching this one story where an officer, he was killed by a lunatic criminal. Tira and I were watching it, and this officer got shot up, and he gave away a whole bunch of his organs. He was an organ donor, and he was able to help out 3 people with his untimely demise and save their lives when they were waiting for an organ transplant. And, when you look at robots and stuff like that, it's one of the things that you'll never have. You'll never have that closeness, that human connection, and they can never give you a heart. But, luckily that these guys still live in a time where, it's not totally taken over by robots at this point. So they were able to get hearts. Let's check it out.
Some news. It was the news 41-year-old Martine Ortiz had been waiting months to hear. We have a heart for you. Really? Martine shaking his head in disbelief before bursting into tears. What went through your mind?
I couldn't believe it. I just felt excited.
And he wasn't the only patient happy to hear it.
I ran straight ahead to his room, congratulate him.
You see, Martine, Esteban Gonzalez, and Gabriel Casas had been at Sharp Memorial Hospital in San Diego since February, all awaiting heart transplants. The trio, affectionately dubbed
the 3 amigos with broken hearts.
When you all found each other, did it change your mood at all?
Yes, of course. You wake up depressed, but now you have I want to go see Martin, or I want to go see Gabriel.
Yeah.
Do you have something else to do besides wait?
Then, one by one, each got their heart. First, Esteban in March, then Gabriel in April, and finally Martine, ringing the victory bell Thursday. What has this brotherhood meant to you all?
It meant everything because we need each other. We're there.
Just made me feel alive again.
My brothers in heart.
No more broken hearts.
Finding something perhaps even more rare than a new heart at their age. New friendships to last a lifetime. Priscilla Thompson, NBC News.
Kind of makes you wonder, if you can replace your organs over time, could you actually live longer? Like, could you live to be like 200 years old if you like replaced all your internal organs? Because that's usually what fails in the body for the most part, right? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm pretty sure somebody's thought of it already. But shout out to these 3 individuals that were able to get a second chance in life, and I hope that they use it for the right things and they try to do something to better somebody else's life. And by the way, can you use a heart twice? Like, what if one of them, you know, what if one of them got clipped, right? But could they retake the heart out of that and put it into someone else, or is it a one-time thing? Like, you can only transfer it once. I'm just asking questions at this point. I'm pretty sure they got the answer, but I'm pretty sure they don't want it to happen to them. But I want to definitely end on this, especially with all the AI talk and all the robot talk. I want to have something where you just see, you know, 3 human beings come together. You know, these guys came together and they found each other at a time where they were both struggling to really believe that they were going to live any longer, and they were able to lean on each other. And I don't think they could have stayed alive if all they had to talk to was their phone and Chat GTP and OpenAI and Sora to continue to live. And, you know, we look at that and we say that the human element of things is so important that we have to really begin to lean on that more, especially when the big corporations that only want to get money out of us, that's all they care about. So with that, I think we're going to leave it. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are incredible. Best audience in the world. It's not even close. Not even close. And as we continue to get better and as we continue to expand and make our family bigger, you know, I'll appreciate everybody that's a part of it. I gotta go. I gotta go get my quesadilla. I gotta get my quesadilla. How was lunch? Lunch. I'm just used to saying that. How was dinner? How was dinner? Did y'all enjoy your jack-o'-lantern quesadilla? We're going to continue to go more into the Halloween theme as we continue to move into next week and Friday. So
that was easy.
Seems like it. I might make it look easy, but it's not always that way. Yeah, we did it. By any means, I know we had to do it as dinner and news, but we're always gonna make the show happen. Where'd my effect go? I got it right here. I almost lost it. Have a good night, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.